Hello, Northfield families. This is Shane Byer, the principal at Northfield High School. Mr. Ensrud and I are going to be sharing a few slides with you tonight that were shared at Parents as Partners a couple weeks back, and also a session that we were going to offer at parent-teacher conferences. So we're going to share probably about a 10 or 15 minute slideshow here. We're going to walk through it, and we're going to share that out with you soon. Well, all the work that we do at our high school is really tied to our vision for Northfield Public Schools. We are preparing every student for lifelong success by developing critical thinkers who are curious and ready to engage in our society. Our agenda for this presentation is really around our goal areas and areas of focus for the school year at NHS. What is Raider time, effective use of Schoology and Skyward, and just a quick touch base on our cell phone and device plan and kind of next steps. So our improvement plan every school year is presented to the school board, and a few of the slides tonight are going to be a review of those, but I think it's important for us to keep our focus in front of our stakeholders. So one of our main goals coming out of the pandemic several years ago was this idea that our students were not earning credit at the rate we were hoping for, and so this goal to the left is really kind of spells that out, where we're having some discrepancies in our student groups in achieving credits. And so our goal was to reduce the number not on track over a 3-year period. And really proud to report that we've made progress. Our students that are in the free reduced lunch group made substantial progress from 73% being on track coming out of the pandemic to 85% this past spring. And our non-FRP students also made significant growth from 88% to 97. So that's really a great progress. Our teachers have been working hard with our students to rebuild the culture for learning at our high school. Part of the way we're getting there is really focusing on core instruction. So the HIT strategies has been a district initiative. The high schools spent plenty of energy trying to evaluate our teaching practices and trying to help us to grow our toolbox of strategies that are going to help engage students and help to more students to be earning credit and getting a meaningful experience. Another area for positive learning that is an indication is really around office discipline referrals. There's the MTSS multi-tiered system of support is our framework for evaluating progress to that end, and one of the metrics we look at is 80-15-5, which basically means that if you have 80% of your students with 0-1 referrals, then your day-to-day practices that all students are getting is really meeting the needs of most students, and then 15% having 2 to 5 referrals and 5% having 6+ referrals, and that's kind of a baseline you might hope for. In Northfield High School, we currently, from this past spring, we're 96% or 93, 6, and 1, so substantially above that benchmark, if you will. So that really is attributed to you as families, our teachers, working together to build a culture for learning in Northfield and specifically at our high school. And this highlight 3 is really around student engagement and achievement. And there's many metrics we look at here. ACT, concurrent enrollment, advanced placement. This particularly is a highlight this year because of the continued increase in the number of students taking AP exams over the last several years, and our highest number ever was in this last spring at 577, and currently for the coming year we have over 600 students signed up for exams, so pretty excited about the continued progress of students interested in taking highly rigorous coursework. Our focus for the coming year will continue to be earning credits and having students on track for graduation, so we'll just continue that goal and see if we can continue that trajectory that we're on. Another area of focus is just continuing our ability to help students on this journey of advancing their college and career readiness. And so one of our initiatives is really around defining rigor. What does it mean to not only earn that credit, but what's in that credit in terms of the level of learning and level of engagement that comes with that. So we're doing some work around defining what rigor is and having a common framework for what that looks like and how that impacts our instruction and ultimately student learning. And then another area of focus is attendance. Again, the pandemic post-pandemic has been a bit of a struggle to re-establish a norm of regular school attendance. Significant number of students nationwide, and we're not immune to that statistic of significantly number of students who are chronically absent. Our goal is to reduce that number and increase the number of students who are regularly attending. And because we know that students who are in school and attending regularly are much more likely to earn those credits and graduate on time. Just quickly, going to just review Schoology Skyward. This has been a screencast we've shared in the past, but just really as you get closer to the 9 weeks end here and looking at grades and what's happening in classrooms, it's really important to stay in your lane, so to speak. Schoology is really about opening that classroom door and looking inside for materials and what's happening day to day. And there's ways that's organized so it's easy access for you. And then the other side is Skyward, which is very much about the grade book, and they really don't play nicely together. So it's important that you stay in your lane when you're looking for information related to either what's happening in the classroom and grades. One of the most significant things I can share with you is that when you're opening Skyward on your phone, open it inside the browser and don't continue in the app, because the app is very limiting in what you see. What I mean by that is if you open it in the browser, you see here the grade for on 12, 18, 19. You notice a little bubble. If you click on that, that gives you comments that teachers provide as feedback, and you will not see that unless you're in the browser version. Some of the frequently used Skyward codes when you're looking at grades are late, no work submitted, student excused from the assignment, and incomplete, and then finally the HING, which is handed in, not graded. So those are tools that will help you to know where an assignment is on the pathway toward completion. And then just a quick review of Schoology. It's really about the electronic classroom. You notice that when you click on a Schoology page, there's details inside of each one of those folders. So if you're really looking for something you missed because your child was absent, it will be there. And so you, as a parent, can really look ahead to see what's coming in the system. And then the calendar is really a great tool that kind of gives you a 10,000 foot view of what's coming. Teachers are working on trying to align the calendar language with the assignment language in Skyward so that you have some parallel comparisons to make. So these tools aren't perfect. We're doing our best to try to align these so that they work for us and eliminate some of the confusion and frustration. And this is what you don't want to do. This is a temptation to look in Schoology and see the overdue submissions, and that's really not going to be accurate because Schoology is not built in our system for communicating that kind of information. You find that information in Skyward. And just quickly, before I turn it over to Mr. Ensrud, we are in the midst of a cell phone device plan, as you're probably well aware of. This quick graphic was shared out probably a week or so ago and just gives you from Northfield forward. Just kind of shares out some of the thoughts from our staff in the first few weeks of the implementation of the cell phone plan. They are overall really pleased with the outcome so far. Students have been cooperating quite well, and I think we have a pretty common sense approach going for us this year. I'm anxious to hear from students and parents, and we'll be sharing a survey in the next couple weeks so families and our students can also weigh in on where we're at, because we want to make adjustments and continue to implement a successful plan so that we can stay true to our goals, which is really about creating a distraction-free environment, honoring their mental health research around overuse of technology and social media, and really at the end of the day it's about learning. And I think that we're off to a good start, and we're excited to see what's next. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Byer. This is Mark Ensrud, one of the school counselors at the high school, and I'm here to spend a few minutes talking about what Raider Time is at Northfield High School this year. Essentially, Raider Time provides valuable support for future planning. It occurs every other Tuesday, or 2 Tuesdays a month, during the first or the second half of Flex, depending on what grade level your student is in. Raider Time does include state-required career and college planning content. And we had a group of teachers and used input from students to try and find the required content that is most wanted and best fit for our students and our staff. And we're trying to put that into a time of day where it does not take away from our core instruction in our classrooms. What that puts us up against is a situation where students are being asked once every couple of weeks to basically give up their flex time, where they kind of get to be where they want and do as they choose around their lunch eating. And once every other week, we kind of take that from them in the interest of trying to make sure we are helping them plan for what's next. So we really need parents as partners on board on this one and supporting the work that's being done on those Tuesdays. We do expect students to attend, and attendance is like all of our other classes, and we need students to make up the activities that are required as part of that career and college readiness planning content. We've organized Raider Time this year in the following ways. Ninth grade, it's linked groups, students that were from day one placed in groups together that get to stay together in those groups as part of the Raider Time experience. 10th grade is randomized so that all students get the same exposure to explore a variety of interest areas and pathways. And then grade 11 this year we have organized by career interest area, and we've actually made some moves as students have changed their course and changed their interest areas. We've moved students from one Raider Time to another to try and accommodate those changes in some of their decision making. And then 12th grade is a combination of that interest area and a pathway plan for after graduation, meaning type of post-secondary education that students might be pursuing, or if they're going right into the workforce or right into the military. We're trying to organize by a combination of career interests and pathway plans. Mr. Byer included this in one of our Raider updates, and we have a screenshot of it here in front of you now, that our content and activities are specific to grade level in terms of what students are ready for and what they might need in terms of preparing towards life after Northfield High School. The other place where we really seek partnership with parents is like any other course, and as you heard Mr. Byer talk about a few slides ago, Raider Time is a course in Schoology for every student, and we have a lot of content that connects to these subjects placed in Schoology for each of our Raider Time sections. So we ask you, as you are looking through your students' courses, take a look in Raider Time and see what they've been covering with greater depth and detail than what these screen grabs allow. Lastly, in addition to what you can see in Schoology for your students' Raider Time, every student at Northfield High School also has access to a Naviance account, and you can see what Naviance is all about on this screen. We regularly access Naviance accounts during Raider Time, whether it's to do an interest inventory, to request transcripts with seniors, to do some career exploration, to do some college searching. There are lots of features and opportunities to explore in Naviance. While we don't have parents' accounts set up separately, we ask that you meet with your student and have great conversations at home that can help support those future plans. Lastly, is it the same as what we used to call CCR? No, but sometimes it is. The reality is we've been able to broaden the umbrella beyond CCR to include some school-wide activities and initiatives, whether it's course planning for next year or social emotional learning surveys that we're conducting at a district-wide level, again without taking away from core instruction time. We are regularly teaming with teachers, with our students to get feedback. We spent quite a bit of time in the summer revamping and trying to improve our content, and we hope that parents are also taking the time and opportunity to explore, along with their student, the tools and access to the information that can help make those future plans a reality. So thank you for your partnership. That wraps up what we covered in this deck of slides, and we certainly would invite you to join at a future Parents as Partners conversation. Mr. Byer, what would families want to know about that?
Yeah, we have 4 dates throughout the school year. Our next one, I don't have it in front of me, but it'll be in the Raider update well in advance. I asked for an RSVP, not because that's the only way to arrive, but it helps us do some planning around offering a light dinner and snacks. So look forward to seeing the future. We'll seek your input on topics that you might be interested in being a part of. Thank you.